Alright, welcome back to BIBSTER'S Repair Shop. We're here at the Bos Bros Old-Fashioned Fall Harvest Tractor Show. And, well, obviously we're going to start off with the great-grandfather of all my tractors. It's Oliver 2240 here. Parked next to an Avery 4080, big 4-cylinder. Next to a Minneapolis. Next to a case. Really cool stuff at the show. They actually just fired up the buzzsaw. We're gonna go check that out. Steam power, tons of old prairie brusting tractors. There's gonna be stuff in the field, so we'll bring you around and show you some of the highlights. Alright, another one of the giants here. Altman Taylor 3060. And this thing's running. Putzing along. 4-cylinder, 7-inch or 9-inch stroke engine. Oh, looks like they're gonna start moving around. This thing for a little bit of a stroll, it looks like. Quite a few of these big early tractors here at the show. Getting ready to fire up this Best Model 60 by Ed Sims out of Milan, Illinois. Notice it doesn't have a crank start in the front, it's actually on the back of the flywheel. And those holes are oblong in a way, so when it does start, it kicks the rod back out. That's the theory. See how they're oblong a little bit. So as soon as it spins, it'll throw the out of there. We'll get it over on right where it's about to fire. Another big cat we saw fire up earlier down there. Gonna run on the dyno here. So basically what they do is they got a brake that's in there that runs off of water, and it basically water is applied to it. Math, science. And then that's how they can actually load it up. I'm probably talking out of my ear right now. Depends how much of a load it's got and calculate out a number for how much horsepower it's got. On the other side of the show, they have two different corn cribs set up, a whole bunch of equipment that's going to go play in the afternoon, as well as a whole row of old John Deere combines. That is awesome. So the two brothers that put the show on, the one is a John Deere fan, which is obvious by just the piles of John Deere equipment, and the other, from what I've heard, is a colorblind. So he likes all brands of tractors, so that's kind of why you see quite the mix. But yeah, really cool show here. It's also Glenn's first show, hey, BIBSTER, so that's also a fun little John Deere D. Yeah, quite the contraption. We'll check out this side a little more in depth when we get back. Okay, part of the collection here is this cool lineup of John Deere combines. So we got a Model 40 on tracks, the 205 two-row ahead. Then next to that, there is a 45 on tracks, two-row ahead. A little more creature comforts on that one. The other side of this Model 40 here. Then we have the big 95 with the four-row head on tracks as well. Get to the other side here, show this monster. I'm not gonna get run over back here, it'd be bad. And then the big line, the 105, that is also on track. So 4 tracked early John Deere combines. Really cool examples of those. And then we have the wheeled variations, a 45, another 45, and then a 55. All the wheeled variety. All right, we'll keep moving and keep showing some stuff. Another cool piece here at the show. This Dodge Model 500, a straight truck with the number 6 sheller unit on the back. Now these Dodges are pretty cool in their design, where the fenders you're able to fold it forward for being able to work on them. But it's also nice for doing this kind of work because that motor is going to be just a scream running that sheller, so you can kind of open it all up and make sure it gets nice cool air in there. But they got this thing ready to go. It's not running yet, obviously, so I'm able to talk next to it. Go back and take a closer look. So yeah, they got 2 mobile corn cribs set up, or not mobile, I mean they're permanent, but small corn crib set up that they run. We'll check out the other sheller on the other side. We're on the other side. We saw the other big prairie tractors over there. And another lineup, an oil pole, another Altman Taylor. We got the Mini 2550 there. Get a closer look. An old scraper, a bunch of old Caterpillars. One we just fired, that S60 just on fire up. He's on the move now. There's any kind of grader thing going on, so he's fired up. Quite the cool show we have going on. We're trying to bring you as much stuff as we can. The video I showed, let's put it in the video right before this, my editing, right? They were out thinking we had that old Remy. And what they basically used to do is they would just take the whole stalk off, put that in the wagon, and bring it in here, and this machine was separated from the ear. So your mounted pickers became what that machine does, do it all in one unit. They would get done with that, they still have ear corn, and then they still have to go shell it or do whatever else they're going to do with it. I'll show you what this thing's run by here. Picker. What they would do before, so this will take it up and around, way and around. And you'd have to have a tractor pulling a wagon next to you all the time to go and load into. This pull type picker. Kind of like the setup they have over here. I think this might be like the, I'm not a John Deere expert on implements, especially implements. But I'm assuming just by the style, this looks like a newer version of it. This is how that would have looked. And then went from there. Down here. But it would have gone to there's a 2-row behind the JR. And eventually we get to the point where it would get pulled behind you. Check out the mounted pickers next. John Deere number 15 mounted picker. Single row. So you just kind of had to keep creeping on the edge. You can actually see on these 2 models, I can't tell what the next model is, at 25 I think? Yeah, I think it's 25. They both have these extra wheels in there to help leave some of the weight off the front end, I'm assuming. Again, I could be wrong on that, because I am known to say dumb things. Yeah. Again, just kind of the variations as things moved along. We'll put the 20 back there. Here's a pretty unique old elevator working. You can see just those little discs on a chain, and it would just pull those discs up. Not quite as fast as what they're going to need in nowadays stuff, but still really cool. Getting extra powered up on one of the newest piece of equipment here. The John Deere 950 little utility tractor. This could also ran off a belt, or actually a V-belt as well. Those little things just go up there and dump the corn off at the top, fall back down. Another cool piece of equipment out here running. always drawn to all things Oliver. It's like an 880 with the Oliver picker. He's already been out in the field. I don't know if it's today or yesterday. Show does go all weekend. You can kind of look inside the inner workings of how this all worked. I mean, you talk about you didn't want to drop anything from the seat because, well, it'd be gone. System of chains and right angle boxes and more chains. Math and magic made this all work. Actually, it was all PTO drove that chain, that went back up and drove chain down there, and one side, I think that's actually what drives goes forward and it drives all the front stuff, and then that goes back and drives that box, which drives the part that basically pulls everything around this way, or runs these flappers there, as well as it's got that belt on it there, that rubber belt for running the fan that actually kind of help blow the shaft out. But yeah, just a lot of fun stuff on these. This will be how you attempt to crawl on them up over the back and whatnot. Yeah, another nice old ollie. Got to show here. Get a good look at the grounds. I have not run that Breton crane yet, but if they do, I'll show it to you. This thing's actually smoking away over there, so we'll keep looking at more stuff. here where the lock is.
Hey, your dad's here.
Running right in the middle. Take it easy. Oh, come on now. Take a look at these old couple more Prairie Busting tractors. So quite the collection they have here. This one's kind of neat because you can kind of see it's another Avery 4-cylinder opposed 4, so you have 2 up front, 2 in the back. That's how that all works. Water piping, exhaust, how that all. And then the thought process, and I could be wrong when I say this way, was that as the exhaust draws out, it creates like a Venturi effect, and it helps pull air by the cooling stack there. But you can see your line there with your water. Ooh, that's water. Maybe that's water. Let's say it's water. Let's go with it's water. In there for cooling. So neat old piece here. Kind of a unique tread design too on the steel tread. And this one's kind of your smaller unit. This one was cool. Got more of a traditional style looking radiator. Fan on the side, 2-cylinder style that you could do the valve adjustments from the driver's seat. It's out of Indianapolis, Wisconsin. Neat old piece here. And then we got another one of the big old Altman Taylor 3060s. This thing is a monster when you compare this to those other ones, just size-wise. I think that one next to that one is the size is as tall as the wheels are for this thing. This thing is a big one. Been seeing some videos of them running the dyno. It's pretty neat. When the fans would run off belts in there and draw the air past the tubes in there. See, even back then you had to have your engine number when you order parts, just like today. Just like today. This old 2244. More traditional case, 1924 2240. Sorry, 40, not 44. Starting to look more like a tractor at this stage, but still partly tank. We'll keep checking things out. We'll probably get a close look at that Avery now. Giants here, obviously. Gonna be checking out the Hart Power 2240. Some of the cooler things on this is notice your brake. Yep, folks, that's wood planks. It's pretty easy to replace. That's funny because the Garage 54s did a test on fitting wooden brake pads. Look at this. Our part had done in the turn of the century, over 100 years ago. Also, on this unit, these are guides for the belt, so that way the belt would kind of help be center drived. And this would be the style where, if you look in there, if I think right, I'm saying this right, that inside would spin all the time, and the outside wouldn't spin. And then that would be your engagement. That would pull out and then apply pressure actually through these pieces of wood here. Those wood 2x4s, we're not actually 2x4, but those wooden boards would apply the pressure, and that's how that would all turn. So wood was very involved back then. Another beautiful piece. Big twin cylinder. Again, you can do all of your valve train adjustments right from the driver's seat. Charles City. Another cool piece here. Because the show is, it's usually like the third, I guess it'd be third weekend in September. I guess we're on the third weekend. And if you haven't ever been to it, it's really cool. Most of these are owned by the Bos Brothers. Put this on. We'll check out this one too. It's Almond 4080, another tank. So, if you ever been to the show, check it out. I'll put a link in the description on their website. 4080 here. This one, at least got a seat. I mean, it's kind of a bench, but that works. Again, big Post 4-cylinder engine. And if you look, I am 5'10", and I'm standing in this tire, still looking up. I mean, just the sheer size of some castings on these parts is just monstrous. Same deal as that other one. The exhaust would go up, create a Venturi effect to help pull cool air by the cooling stacks. That's how the engine would stay cool. I believe this one starts off of this handle here. This is actually your starting handle. You pull that up and then engage it. It's the same kind of a thing that once the engine would go, it would slip by, kind of like the other one. So you'd push against there, and then when the engine would go, it would force that thing out, and then you could put it back in its resting spot. So these all would have had like a compression release, so that's how they would turn these monster motors over. They're also running pretty low compression to start with too. But the other cool piece here at the show, Avery 4080. We'll keep checking things out. Here, hope you can hear this over the sweet hit and miss motor. But so that's the corn flour in the meal.
Cornmeal, they call it.
Cornmeal, which is tasty. I did try that.
Yeah.
And then that'll go from here over to there, and they'll make cornbread out of it. So we'll have to sample some of that. But more of the cool stuff here at the Bos Brothers Historic Farms. Or Historic Farms show. I can't talk already. Yeah. Pretty cool piece. Thanks. motorcycle's doing it, then you get kick-started. Running right now. It's another piece of equipment that they run here to show. This doesn't take vlogs. Basically puts them in there and then got a big buzz on it. Slices. Makes four like big old timbers like that for reasons I'm not a woodworker, but yeah. So and they grow thin veneers out of it too. Kind of cool stuff. Another cool piece here. So they had this going a few minutes ago. We'll see if they fire it back up. Minneapolis Crushing Machine Company 2240. Two-cylinder. Dual oilers on this one. See up there. Unlike the Oliver or the Hart parts, one actually uses a friction material for the clutch for engaging. And again, adjusting the valves on the fly. There's your for starting it. There's your lever for starting it sitting in there. And yeah, another one of the cool units here at the Bos Bros Historical Farm Show. Again, I'll put a link in the description. You have to check the show out. It is wild.